Factory conditions was a very major problem happening in the factories in the 1800s. Workers didn't get the money, freedom, and respect that they rightfully deserved. These were tough times for workers in factories, but that's how factories first commenced at that time.
The foreman needed to run an efficient operation. Thus, they might fine or fire workers for a range of offenses, such as being late to work, talking, or refusing to do a task. Also, factories in the 1870s were not always safe. Many workers did not know how to speak English, so they couldn't read the instructions for the machines. That caused a lot more injuries and deaths. Workers also inhaled toxic fuels into their bodies, and some got very sick and died, and usually got lung cancer and died.
It was very terrible to work in these factories. The workers would work in these sweatshops and would be ordered by the robber barons. The robber barons created these horrible buildings. They were the rulers of the businesses. They were some of the richest and most powerfulest people in the 1800s. They were very cruel leaders to their workers.
The factory conditions were horrible and unbearable to work in. They had to work at low pay wages. The work conditions were deadly, unsafe. The conditions were a cramped, noisy environment. Also, machines were exposed and high mortality rate caused by accidents. The cotton and dust and high humidity made the air cause lung problems. The wages that the woman got was only 4.50, and for children it was only 50 cents.
They made workers work long hours, made them work in very dangerous working conditions, and were paid very low. Robber barons didn't really care about the workers or their rights. All they cared about is that the workers are working so they can keep making more money. But not all business leaders were this cruel to their workers. They were named captives of industry. They were better leaders than the robber barons. They didn't really give more wages or anything, but they did give back to society. For instance, they created buildings like universities, hospitals, and churches to the society.
Young women worked 12 hours for 6 days a week by 1900s. The American economy revolved around factories. In 1878, the U.S. had entered a time of success after a long downfall in the mid 1870s. The number of man- manufactured plants and number of people doubled. Also, by the 1900s, the South had consisted of more than 400 mills. Women and children worked in bad conditions for long periods of time, mostly about 12, 16 hours per day. They only made about a half a dollar per day, which was not much in that time.